What's up, guys? I'm METALHEAD. I'm doing 150 classic albums by the end of the year. I'm also doing Patreon requests. This, however, is the only album that I will be doing that isn't a Patreon request because I want to do it before I go to the Deftones concert, which I have in about a month. I've listened to Adrenaline and Around the Fur and Private Music. Absolutely adored every single one of those albums. Around the Fur is my favorite so far. And if by the time that this comes out, you'll see that I have a top 100 albums of all time list that's on the front page of my YouTube channel. And you'll see that Around the Fur is really high up. I know that people say that this is like the best Deftones album. I feel like it's hard for me to think about an album that could be better than Around the Fur. I just really love that sound. It feels quintessential Deftones in my mind. So I'm curious and open for this one to be better because it's the one that everyone talks about as being the best Deftones album. But yeah, I absolutely love Deftones, the voice, guitar work, everything like that. It feels so weird that I didn't get into Deftones when I was into listening to a shit ton of metal. When I was listening to Beartooth and Bring Me the Horizon and Linkin Park, I just never found Deftones. And it wasn't until they went to Good Things 2022 that I found them for the first time and listened to a few of their songs because they were headlining with Bring Me the Horizon. And I was like, holy shit, this feels like a long lost band that I should have been listening to my entire life. So I'm glad to finally be getting through this discography. Yeah. White Pony, let's see how it goes. Ooh, the guitars sound really nice. It sounds more 2000s than I would expect.
So ride.
Ooh.
Right back to school. Look back, I sift through all the clicks. Rolling the halls all year, making me sick. While everyone's out trying to make the cut. What? And when you think you know me right, I switch it up. Behind the wall, smoking cigarettes and sipping vodka. I'm a fist to catch a cab, ain't no one can stop us.
It's a lot more lyrical.
Some other mess. Why you act like it's everything you got? Push back the sweat. Now that you need her, but you don't, so there you go.
Ooh. Yeah, it's so much more focused on the lyrics.
Stop that quit, all that quit. Who ruined it? You did. Now grab a notebook and a pen. Start taking notes on me and everyone who's on the top. You think we're on the same page, but no, we're not. I'll be the man, watch your backpack, spinning pencils. Just like he's not flipping it, but you just keep it simple. You just can't go on, rocking the clothes, cupping the dance, 'cause really it's everything that you want. Push back the square. Now that you need her, but you don't, so there you go. 'Cause back in school, we are the
His voice is just fucking it. I love it.
or stop your life. It's what you do.
Ooh.
Or stop
It's so different to Around the Fur. Surprisingly different. Also, I'll pause it for a moment. This album, on the rating site that I use, album of the year, it only has 11 tracks listed, and then I had to put in Back to School afterwards. I looked it up, and I guess it's this is the US version. I was wondering why the US version has a different another song added onto the album compared to other releases of this album, because this one has a music video, so it seems like it's going to be it was a single or something. So it doesn't make sense to me that or I don't know why it would just not be included on the album originally, or yeah. Sorry for pausing at the beautiful vocals. Tino's voice is good. maybe my favorite. It's hard to say. It's just so unique and gorgeous. This is so interesting. I didn't expect it to be so different, but still be Deftones to me, compared to like Around the Fur. Amazing screams, obviously. Huh. If you've never watched one of my videos before, I do ratings on the side. These are my first listens. I listen to these projects multiple times over before I post them to my Discord where you can chat to me about my ratings. I also posted it to my album of the year, which is that music rating website that I mentioned. It says 600 written reviews. Actually, I have 1,000. Before this channel existed, I basically listened to 20 albums front to back my entire life. I listened to a lot of music, but I listened to the same music religiously every single year. I had like 100,000 minutes on each year with Spotify, but it was the same artist. It was Bring Me the Horizon, it was Linkin Park, it was Lil Peep, it was Juice WRLD, that sort of stuff. And I decided to make this channel because a lot of my friends, family, all of that wanted me to listen to their favorite albums for the first time. Like Nevermind, never heard of front to back until this channel, so you can see that on here. And all that sort of jazz. So I decided to make this channel. But within a year and a bit, I've listened to about 1,200 albums with all the ratings and reviews there. You can check out my album of the year. Average ratings are 6 out of 10. I solely think that's because I'm listening to more good music than bad, because everyone has been so fucking lovely and subbing to my Patreon. So over on my Patreon, there's about 200 subs. It's $5 a month, and you get to request an album that's 50 minutes or less, or you get to request a classic album. This was on that classic albums list. No one picked it. There's a list of 360 albums that are classics that I want to listen to for the first time. There's Deftones, there's Metallica, I've never heard a Metallica album. There's AC/DC, never heard an AC/DC album. Just listening to all of those front to back for the first time, you can pick that. It's $5 and you get to pick any classic album regardless of the time, or a 50-minute album of your choosing or less. And if you sub for $8, you can pick 2 classic albums, or you can pick an album that is 90 minutes or less. But yeah, because of that, I have 200 people that subbed. They all have the ability to request an album. They're going to be requesting albums that I'm probably going to like, so it leans towards me having a 6 out of 10 average, when spiritually I think 5 out of 10 is my average, because I think if something's a 5.1, I think it's above average. And when I'm... all of that kind of just doesn't matter when it comes to the Deftones, because this is at least a 9. I'm going to give it a 9 for now, and on a re-listen it might go up higher, just so I can have some room for a song that is better than a 9, like this track. I don't want to just instantly give it a 9.5 or a 10 and leave myself no wiggle room. But in general, this is really tight. Like what I was talking about when it comes to like Around the Fur, and why this feels so different to me is, for me, I was under the impression that Korn was like the first new metal band, and then Deftones took a bit from that because Adrenaline came out in 95 and Korn's Self-Titled came out in 94. And if I look at the music databases on Album of the Year and Rate New Music, the first album ever basically was Korn's Self-Titled when it comes to new metal. And on Adrenaline, I heard that. When I was listening to Adrenaline, I was like, oh, there's a lot of Korn influence. I've been told in the comments that might not be the case. They kind of came up around the same time, so it might not be Deftones directly influenced by Korn. But the more rap style on the Adrenaline kind of dissipated a bit on Around the Fur, and I really love that quintessential Deftones sound, that mixture of like shoegazy sort of stuff that they do on there. And they're a very atmospheric band when it comes to Around the Fur, and I absolutely adore that. And it's interesting because I thought that was what people really loved about Deftones. So when White Pony is like this album that everyone absolutely loves, they herald it as the best Deftones album, it was kind of surprising listening to this, where it's very tight. It's a lot more lyrical, where Around the Fur is a lot more atmospheric to me, and it's just trying to create like a perfect like vibe of what it's trying to go for, with the angst and like this sexed up tension and all that sort of stuff. Where with this, it's very controlled. It kind of reminds me of the equivalent of, I don't know the equivalent of Around the Fur for Bruce Springsteen, but this reminds me of like the Born to Run version of Bruce Springsteen, where I can understand why it's considered their best project, because it feels like the most, I don't know, it feels like the most non-idiosyncratic. Like, you just took the sounds that Deftones is, and you just really polished it for a record. And even though this isn't like the most loved track off of the album, from what I can see, that just comes out. It has like this like weirdly strokesy or Oasis sort of vibe where it's like very polished, just incredibly polished track. Yeah. And when it comes to Deftones, it makes it like, it's interesting to hear a Deftones track that is very listenable in the same way that like a pop track might have, because it has that polish to it. Where like Around the Fur, it feels like Shove It, like My Own Summer and stuff like that. It's angsty. If you don't like angsty music, you won't like it. But I could see someone listening to this that isn't necessarily into heavy music, if that makes sense. It has like a Linkin Parky quality to that sense, where like Linkin Park could be listened to by anyone. Especially here. Reminds me a bit of a Hybrid Theory stuff. Tina's voice is just so stunning. It's like no one has his voice. Yeah, it feels a lot more new metal-y to me. It's just so stunning. It definitely feels like more of like an album track. Kind of reminds me of maybe some of like the more album tracks off of Private Music, where it's like, it's still very great. Like, I clearly like listening to this, but it isn't one of the standouts to me. But like, it's nowhere near like a skip or anything like that. Just a less exciting track. I really like the backing vocals here. I feel like with like when I'm listening to a lot of new metal, like not new metal in general, but like metal that I haven't heard before, there's obviously like a lot of like the Satanic Panic sort of stuff that metal like delves into a bit more because of Christians and all of that, rallying against it as like demonic and all that sort of stuff. And it's been very interesting to listen to a lot of like heavy metal from like the 70s and 80s, like Black Sabbath and that sort of stuff. And there's just like not demonic vibes, even remotely. It's like kind of like there's like poppy. I don't know. It just doesn't come across as anything dark. But I feel like Deftones is like one that, yeah, I could see how you could definitely picture satanic imagery when it comes to Deftones sort of stuff. Granted, I think that gives it a nice cool edge to it because it's not doing it in like a campy way. Well, actually, I think that's maybe the thing I'm picking up on with like earlier metal stuff is it feels a bit campy. Where Deftones, for whatever reason, it doesn't give me camp. It just feels like it's able to delve into those sort of like imageries and sonic soundscapes without it coming across as like a theater production or something like that. Yeah. Oh, I think this is just a great to an amazing track. Like, even though this is like a less of a, I don't know, standout track to me, it's still fucking great. Like, I would never skip this if I was listening to the album. It's not like, yeah, I would never be like, I can't wait to get to. Despite the fact that I think Digital Bath is considered like one of the best tracks. Like, I don't think I would be like, I need to skip this track to get to the next one. It's like, no, I'll wait my time out. This is a good track. I like it. It feels a lot more patient, this album. Like, it's stripped back a bit more compared to Around the Fur. There's so much going on with Around the Fur. Ooh, I love the tone of these guitars. Yeah, this is so patient. Like, I'm so used to like Shove It, where it's like when it gets to the chorus, it's like blaring. There's so much angst. But like this, it's like it comes back to a much more controlled space afterwards. Yeah. It's so stunning. It's like such an interesting juxtaposition between like some of the tracks I've heard from Saturday Night Wrist, like Cherry Waves, and like Around the Fur. It's like a lot more on the Saturday Night Wrist sort of vibes. Also, oh, that's some really nice textures. Oh, I love it. They really made those textures sound like a digital bath and watery. That's cool. It feels like so cleanly a 10. Like it just... It's just such a polished track. It's quite a bit less angst. There's like less fury involved. I don't know. I can see what, as I said, I can see why this is considered like the best album from them, because it does feel a bit more mature. I'm sure, like, so far when I'm listening to this though, it's like, do I really like Deftones for their immaturity? Like when it comes to Around the Fur, where like, I want the fury, that sort of thing. As much as I actually really do love like these prettier, what I can like deem more shoegazy sort of vocals, like the really pretty vocals by Chino. Like they're gorgeous. Like, so one of my favorite tracks, I know for a fact, I haven't listened to the rest of the album, but it's Cherry Waves. I know that's one of my favorite songs of all time. So there is a dichotomy where like I clearly do love that sort of sound, but when it comes to like an album experience, there's so much ferocity when it comes to Around the Fur that I just fucking love. Kind of the same way that like when it comes to Linkin Park records, as much as I love Minutes to Midnight, I think like and even Meteora, it's like Hybrid Theory has that fucking spunk and that energy to it that I think just makes it a bit better. And I think maybe there might be that sort of dichotomy when it comes to White Pony here and Around the Fur. But we're only 3 tracks in. Like, it could, I know I have heard Change before, so like I know that's going to be a 10 or 11. So I just haven't heard the other songs, and maybe the other songs will win me over a bit more to be like, oh, I clearly like this more than Around the Fur. But at the moment, I think I might a bit like appreciate Around the Fur a tiny bit more. But that also could be the fact that I've listened to it a lot more. This is a first listen. So on re-listens, I might like this even better. And that's me being a nitpicker, because you can really tell clearly I fucking adore the sound. You know? Ooh, I like that guitar, like how it developed. Ooh, I like Gwen's vocals. I like this. It reminds me a bit of like a maybe Labia or something like that. I fuck with it. Ooh, that's a weird vocal effect. I like it. Ooh, I really like the guitar. Oh, this is sick. Ooh, I like that, how messy this is a bit. Oh. Ooh, I really like this. I really like that this track is also in the album. Ooh. Ooh, I like that bass coming in. I really like this. I might even give it a 9.5. I'll give it a 9 for now, but like it's leaning towards being my second favorite track on there. The instrumentation is just so fucking killer. That's so sick. I love that. So far, like with listening to this album, like it's a lot more polished, but I think comes with the polish is it's a bit safer. And something about this track feels like I don't know, it diverts from that a bit. The vocal effects that they have is just an interesting creative choice to make when so far the album has been like, what is Deftones? Let's like make the most like pristine sort of safe version of that, but still to a really fucking high standard. Where this track feels like it's taking some like creative risks and making a bit of a detour, and I like that, like as like conceptually, thematically. But then also on top of that, when it comes to the execution of it, the guitars are fucking sick. The drums, like everything about the instrumentation, just exudes a bit. I don't know. It's a bit more feisty than some of the other tracks to me. Where the other ones are just like gorgeous. This one, I like it. I like the energy on this. It reminds me of like, let me find the track. It reminds me a bit of this track where like on this album you had like My Mind Is Mountain, gorgeous song. And then this one was like a bit of a bit more rough around the edges, which I enjoyed. But yeah, fucking spectacular album so far. I like the deeper tones on this track and the last one. Ooh. Vocals. Oh. I love it. I like the poetry in it. I did not know that this was leaning a whole lot more into like the singing vocals. I expected like as heavy as around the solos. I didn't know that transition, like evolution, was so quick. I like the industrial element too. I haven't listened to a lot of Depeche Mode, but it kind of sounds more Depeche Mode here. I really want to listen to some Depeche Mode. I'd say another pretty amazing track. On a re-listen, like, some of these might go to like 8.5, some of them might jump up to 9.5, but like, so far, like, a pretty hovering around amazing. Great to amazing album so far. Ooh. I don't know, like, there's like a youthful energy in this track that I enjoy. I might go with I think this is creeping up to be like my second favorite track. I think I might just give these a bit higher. I find this, I don't know, I like this one quite a bit, and there's like I think the reason that this is like maybe tied for my second favorite on the entire album is, despite the fact that like when I'm listening to this, I can kind of tell that like an RX Queen or something like that, it's a bit more like technical, it's a bit more layered, but it reminds me of like Brand New, which is a band that I've been reacting to and has like slowly become my favorite band, or pretty quickly actually. I like Deja and Tendu more than The Devil and God Are Raging Inside of Me, despite the fact that I can kind of tell The Devil and God Raging Inside of Me are better, is like more impressive as songs, but it's like that it's Brand New's an emo band, and the emo on Devil and God are like these drawn out beautiful like musical passages, and Deja and Tendu is them infusing their bit of their pop punk sort of roots into this emo as well, and doing like a melding of both. And I kind of feel this is a similar sort of thing as well, where like the RX Queen it's a lot more restrained, it's a lot more textured, that sort of thing when it comes to the instrumentation. But the youthful sort of like injecting like energy of this track, I just kind of fuck with a lot, and I just like it. It's like, this is probably one that I would come back to more to re-listen to than some of the other tracks, despite the fact that the other tracks are gorgeous in themselves. It's like, this is probably something that it's not like devoid of value or anything like that when it comes to like a lot of pop punk sort of stuff, or like poppier stuff can be the replay value is like, oh, it's just easier to listen to because it's not as engaging. Well, like, I don't think this is a part of that sort of trend. This is just, it's very engaging. I like it. Yeah, I love the energy to this track. It has like a much more youthful energy to it. I like it. Like this already texturally is probably better. Yeah, but I really do like the tones of these guitars. Ooh. I'm assuming that's like a disc scratch sort of thing, I'll try like. This sounds stunning. Ooh. The vocals are so intimate. So it's like the instrumentation is like so... It feels so tender. It's a more of a, like a, I haven't heard much of it. There's like a slight trip hoppy vibe to it. I haven't had a lot of trip hop, but I like that. You know what? I don't know if this is blasphemous, but I might even give this one like a 9 out. I love how intimate it is. Like, it's part of the reason why I really love Labia. It's like how just close sonically it feels to you. It's like a bit more engrossing to me. Like it's closer up it to me compared to like some of the other tracks where they feel like very gorgeous things that from a distance. I like how the album is structured. Like, Teenager does feel like it fits transitioning into the song. I really like that. This feels like Deftones at like the peak of their powers. I love how the guitars sound. It's such a wall of sound. And well, and that's well. This feels like peak, like Cherry Wave sort of pretty vocals, definitely. It's so stunning. Ooh. That's airy. I like it. This is probably the best song so far. It's making me think, like, is it even 11? Like, it's just so good. It's like haunting. I like it. You know, I will give it 11. Oh. Like, I do obviously 1 to 10, 0 to 10 actually. But there's some songs I just give 11s where, like, I feel like it's not just perfect, like it's not just, yeah, it's not just perfect, it's like magical in some sort of way. The easiest go-to is like, there is a perfect song. There's like a little like quaint little nice little perfect song. That's a 10. And then there's like Bohemian Rhapsody. It's like, all right, there's clearly a different league here, where it's like not just perfect, it's like it just transcends a bit. I feel like this is one of those tracks for me when it comes to Deftones where it's bordering for me, so I might bounce between 10 and 11 for this, and especially depending on Change, because I think Change might be an 11. Where like Cherry Waves is an 11 to me. This one feels like it has the potential. Like, I would just need to sit with it a bit more, I think, to like be 100% confident in it. But like the way I don't know, it has like that intimate sort of vocal styling that they do, but it has these like nice little textures that make it go just like a step above beyond. Like the way that they use the vocals to like then like peak it and make it squeal and all of that, and make it so haunting and gorgeous at the same time. Like, it's just such a fucking an amazing song. I really like this like matrixy sort of sounds that they're adding. Oh, this is chunky. I like it. I've heard of Knife Party before. I've never heard Prty. This is fucking good. Oh my god. Oh. 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 No, this isn't 11. Like, if I'm on the fence with Knife Party, this one is the standout. Oh, the way it's melding so many different styles too. Like here, I don't know. It sounds so much like, I don't know. It's like nostalgic as fuck here. This instrumental. And it mixed with like Deftones vocals. Oh. Fuck, Korea might be my favorite. Oh my god, the way that they're like the bass woofs, like guitars woof, it's just so nice. Oh, like that's the best song so far. To have back-to-backs like that is crazy. Oh, I love it. This is such a good album. My face is a bit stiff from just it's so much smiling. Alright, no, I already know with this sound that I have to drop all of these to 10s because I think if this is where I think it's going, like it would be another 11. And I just need to chill out. Ooh. The vocals. Ooh. This is kind of like what I imagine some like Corey Taylor Slipknot passages to be like. Oh, this is a bit toolish. Am I mistaken with that? No. Like lateralist to me. You know what? No, I think this is a 10. Or like a 9.5. When did Slipknot exist? Because this feels like what I just assumed Slipknot to sound like, because I haven't done much Slipknot. Or listened to Slipknot. 99, 2001. Ooh. This one's kind of like RX Queen to me, but just like a bit better. It's... Yeah, this album is very clean. Again, I made the comparison, but it reminds me of Born to Run, where it's like, ooh. I don't know, it's just like... The polish is just so there that I can understand why people love it as like their favorite. Alright, I don't even need to... Like, do I even need to listen to it? I already know it's 11. You know what, I think I'll give these 10s because this is just like a bit of a step above even those tracks, I think. It's just one of the best songs ever. I also realized I need to listen to some 9 Inch Nails because I feel like this is. I assume this is inspired by 9 Inch Nails. So. Oh, it's just one of the best songs ever. I so fucking love that. This is such a good album. I feel like I've spoken about how Brand New's like quickly becoming my favorite band. That's probably true, but I haven't listened to enough of Deftones' catalog, I guess. Like, I've done Around the Fur, I've done Adrenaline, now I'm doing White Pony, I've done Private Music, but it's like, if Saturday Night Rest, and what's the Diamond Eyes, all that sort of stuff, like, and Koi something, if those are, like, amazing albums, then, like, this easily can become my favorite band. There are just some fucking unbelievably outstanding tracks that they have, and they're so fucking consistent. Like, Adrenaline is so far the worst one, but that's still a good album. Like, so unbelievably consistent for so long. It's been 31 years. Not like no band has that sort of catalog. It's like Radiohead, maybe. Deftones, Radiohead, like, who else? Black Sabbath, but they have like lineup changes, which feels a bit different. It's interesting, like the sort of electronic sort of vibes across the album. This could be like a top 2 on the entire album as well. This final run from Knife Party to Pink Maggot is fucking incredible. I love the squeaky. This is probably my second favorite. I know I've said that about like every single track. But this album is just so fucking spectacular. It's actually kind of really hard to figure out what I like the most. Oh my life. Like, this could be an 11. Like, this could be a vibe. Like, this sort of rating. Just so fucking sick. That's such cool, like, not necessarily industrial, but like, it's so cavernous. I love it. This is such a fucking amazing album. Oh, I love the texture. I just love Deftones so fucking much, dude. Like, yeah, this is just such an amazing album. If you guys want to see me do more Deftones in the future, watching this video to this point is support enough. But if you want to guarantee I listen to another Deftones, every Deftones album is on. Every Deftones album is on the classic album list. So if you go to my Patreon and sub, it's $5. You get to request a classic album, or if you spend $8, it's 2 classic albums. You can pick 2 Deftones. If you enjoyed this video and wanted to see more Deftones, I fucking adore Deftones. So I greatly appreciate it if that happens. I adore it so much that I broke my own rule of only reacting to Patreon requests because I don't want to feel guilty not doing them because I have so many to do. That's how much I love Deftones. But yeah, absolutely adore this album, and thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to see more, Patreon, all that jazz. I love you. Peace.